President Trump's pick for U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche is set to be back on the Hill this morning after a fiery day of testimony during his confirmation hearing yesterday.
Madeleine Rivera joins us now from Washington with the details. Hey, Maddie.
Hi, good morning, Nate and Carly. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche was pressed on a number of issues yesterday. It took just minutes for both sides of the aisle to bring up the Epstein files. Blanche oversaw the release, and he admitted mistakes were made by identifying the victims, but he's proud of this record of the Trump administration.
Murders are down roughly 20% nationwide. We have the lowest murder rate since 1900. Violent crime arrests are up nearly 114%. We've taken almost 5,000 child predators and human traffickers off the streets. If you look at Washington and Memphis as examples, where we have worked with federal, state, and local partners, pulling thousands of criminals off the streets in those two cities. Homicides in D.C. are down about 60%, and overall crime in Memphis declined by more than 40%.
Blanche also faced questions about the president's settlement with the IRS, which originally included a nearly $1.8 billion fund to pay people who applied and believed the government was weaponized against them. He insists the fund idea is history, and then there were these other fireworks with Democrats.
How long do you intend to put up with that Kash Patel character? Are you good with his airplane jaunts? Are you confident he's not drinking on the job?
So your attendance at that dinner was cleared by ethics officials?
Everything that I do.
I didn't ask you everything you do. Was your appearance at that dinner
you
clear?
Can ask the
What happened to the Todd Blanche who was a prosecutor in the Southern District of New York? What happened to the prosecutor people had respect for?
You asked me what happened to Todd Blanche. I am still here.
So here are some of the witnesses slated to appear at today's hearing. Blanche's supporters include former U.S. Attorney General John Ashcroft and Jennifer Bowes, an Angel mom. On the opposing side, there's Danny Beskey, an Epstein survivor. The stakes are high as Blanche needs the support of every Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee to advance to the full Senate. Nate and Carly.
All right, Madeleine Rivera, live for us in Washington. Maddie, thank you. Let's bring in Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway. Madam Attorney General, thank you so much for joining us. So how do you think yesterday went? Do you think that the acting AG made a compelling case to be able to keep his job on a permanent basis?
I really do. Carly, thanks so much for having me on. I think the acting Attorney General, General Blanche, made the case, the right case for why he is the best man for this job, which is that murders are lower than any time since 1900 in the United States. Prosecutions for violent criminals are up, for child exploitation, for illegal immigrants. He is focused on what I would call kind of the core priorities of law enforcement and really making our cities less violent. Then layer on top of that a return to really going after fraud in this country. I was the United States Attorney in St. Louis right after 9/11. In fact, got to work with the great John Ashcroft, who's going to testify on behalf of General Blanche today. And in that time period, the FBI and other agencies really shifted to going after terrorism. I mean, it had to be the number one priority, but kind of fraud investigations really dropped off. And we haven't seen an administration since this administration who really went after the fraudsters, and it's going to make a big difference.
And they certainly are doing that in this administration. Yesterday, the acting AG did make a case, made some statements about the state and federal partnership under the DOJ right now. You, as the Attorney General of Missouri, is that something that you have experienced firsthand?
Absolutely. We had a huge influx of new FBI agents come into the St. Louis area because of General Blanche and Senator Schmidt working hard and in conjunction with each other. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that my predecessor is now the co-deputy director at the FBI, Andrew Bailey, and we think he's doing a great job. But I've been in a meeting with Kash Patel, with Todd Blanche and other attorneys general, where the focus was solely on how do we back the blue, and how do we back the blue in a way where we can police effectively in the streets of America. I haven't seen a deputy attorney general, an acting attorney general, the attorney general ever have that kind of focus before.
So restoring faith in the Justice Department was also a topic of conversation that came up yesterday. Here's what acting AG Blanche had to say about that.
Above all, we are restoring American trust. In recent years, we watched the Justice Department turned against many of you and a former president, and it damaged the public's faith in justice. We are fixing that. Members of this committee on both sides have fair questions about the hard debates of the past year, and I welcome them.
Now, when it comes to Republican support, Senators Cornyn and Tillis do have questions over Blanche's independence from the White House because he was President Trump's former attorney. He's going to likely need all Republicans to vote yes to advance his nomination out of the Judiciary Committee. So if you are Todd Blanche, should you be concerned about this?
Well, I might be concerned about the political impacts of things that have nothing to do with me. You know, I think that some of the two senators you've described that have motivations that are outside of whether or not Todd Blanche is the best qualified person to be Attorney General. And let me say with absolute certainty that he is. Not only has he been the Deputy Attorney General, who operationally really is the person running the Department of Justice, but his career before coming into this role is just tremendous. He was an assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York. He was at two of the finest law firms in the country. Really, the only complaint that this committee, even the Democrats on this committee, have against General Blanche is that he happens to be the person nominated by Donald Trump and knew Donald Trump before that nomination. That's the complaint.
Understood. Yeah, he's in an interesting position because he is testifying to keep the job that he already has and has been doing. Just drop that word acting in front of his title. Missouri Attorney General Catherine Hanaway, we thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you. We appreciate having you on.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.